Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Libra in mid-December 2020. What's up, Libra? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, guys, welcome to December or mid-December. Hopefully, wherever you are in the world right now, Libra, you are safe, happy, healthy, and secure. Please take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love. 2020 might be almost over, but all the things that it brought into our lives simply won't wrap up by the end of the year. So please, again, take precautions at this time as you're interacting with folks, as it is the holiday season, okay? And speaking of holidays, happy holidays to you. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Winter Solstice, whatever you practice, whatever your tradition, whatever you're planning to do. I hope it's an amazing day. I hope you have a great time. But again, please take precautions, okay? Libra, any other announcements? One second. Felt that sneeze coming a mile away. Anyway, yeah, if you are, or excuse me, other announcements. I might be doing something for New Year's Eve here on the channel. I haven't really decided. I'm probably making it a bigger deal than it actually ever will be, but I don't usually do other things. I'm usually very regimented, fixed sign energy. I'm like, this is what I do. This is all I do. But anyway, if I do something, please check the community tab here on YouTube, or also check me out on Instagram. I'll probably announce it a day or two before if I end up actually doing whatever I think I might do. You know, I'm feeling compelled to do something, but I'm not exactly sure how it's going to be. So I have to think about it and, you know, let my guides give me little hints and clues until I figure something out, okay? So if you're interested in that, again, check me out on Instagram or check the community tab here on YouTube, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to see some... oh, excuse me. The other intro. Anything you want from me, Libra, it's in the description box. If you want the timestamp, it's down there. Information on how to purchase a personal reading with me is down there, as well as the link to my Instagram if you want to follow me over there, okay? All right, now we can do it. Let's see messages for Libra in mid-December, please. Messages for Libra in mid-December 2020. Please show me the messages for Libra in mid-December 2020. Please show me. Great. Where is it? Oh, watch the what? I'll be right back. I can't get that without moving the shit around. 1 second. All right, Libra, apologize about that. That's what came to the floor, fell to the floor. Thank you. For you, Page of Wands. See what the other messages are for Libra, please, in mid-December 2020. King of Wands, all right. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. I know that's a song, but I don't know it that well. And the Ten of Wands. All right, fire, fire, fire. Tons of fire energy for you guys to start. Page of Wands, King of Wands, and the Ten of Wands, okay? Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You could be dealing with a fire sign, but you don't have to be. Okay, we're going to talk about that because, like, that's kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of, like, in my face, so I have to mention it. Okay. So you saw how on both of these cards we have two males, a little boy and a grown man. And then over here we've got this woman, apron on, dealing with the kerfuffle of the Ten of Wands over here. On its face, this is not specific to everybody, and, you know, it's still a general reading, so the genders can be flip-flopped and swapped and all that stuff. But what I'm seeing on its face is a very lazy daddy and a very mischievous little boy and a mommy who's doing all the work around the house, who's struggling to keep things going in the house, keep a lid on things, keep it, you know, not run a tight ship, but just like keep the house clean, make sure everybody's fed and clothed. And the dad, Mr. King of Wands here, has a chance to help out, but does so in a what could be read as a lazy way. Instead of doing each of those tasks separately, raking the leaves, mopping the floor, sweeping the floor, scrubbing the toilet, ironing the shirts, whatever. He's doing it all in one go with this contraption in his hand, and he's in a fucking recliner, or he's sitting down. Now again, the gender and whether it's the dad over here or the mom over here, that's regardless. You can plug that in how you want. But this feels like in a situation, someone might be taking it a little too easy for the liking of someone else or other people in the situation, or someone is more concerned about finding an easy way out. They don't want to struggle, or they really are trying to be inventive, because that's another way that I have read this King of Wands in this deck before, is that that's actually kind of ingenious, or it's inventive to create one little contraption that can do the individual job of like 5 or 6 different elements or different appliances or whatever, right? And there is just a lot of kerfuffle regardless of what's going on. This deck, this Housewives Tarot deck, is super domestic, and I think I was led to choose that deck for a reason for some of you Libras, because your domestic life is it's a mess. And I mean, that's not just specifically for Libras. 2020 is doing its thing. I have been home since March. Only 2 people live in this house, and that's a blessing. Okay? If there were more, I'd feel differently about it. Okay? Just the 2 of us, it works. It works so well. Okay? So, you probably, many of you at least, live in situations where there's more than 2 people in a house, more than 2 people in an apartment, more than 2 people in a freaking mobile home, more than 2 people in a tiny house, whatever. There is a strain on the physical space that you call home, either financially in some of your cases, even though there's no pentacles here, that is part and parcel. That makes sense because of everything that's going on with 2020 and the fact that we live in a society where in order to live, you need money, okay? In order to live well, comfortably, you need money, okay? So you're having a strain financially. Others of you, you're having a strain in terms of action, right? Stir crazy, yeah? You and or everybody else involved is stir crazy. Been in the house for several weeks on end or days on end or what have you. Some of you, because of serious complications with medical issues, have literally not left the house in months, or you're dealing with people who literally cannot set foot outside, or can only go out to the front porch. Any further than that, and it's a problem because of being immunocompromised or some other type of medical condition. Yes, and that all creates stress. That all creates strife. That all creates struggle. 10 of Wands. So it's either someone within the household based on their role as the breadwinner, or, you know, the domestic head of house, right? Not the head of the household, but the head of the domestic space is feeling overburdened and without help, without anyone, you know, to assist them. Or everybody collectively, mom, dad, all the children, the dogs, the cats, the parrots, whatever. Everybody is just like climbing the walls. They can't handle what's going on here, okay? I feel, and it's very interesting that we have a King of Wands, and I'm taking this 10 of Wands as an individual person, which is not unusual, but it's an interesting thing that I'm feeling this, because this is a court card, this is a pip, or a minor arcana, right? It's a different ranking system, so to speak, right? So there is this feeling that because of rank, we have a discrepancy. Because of different abilities, capabilities, because of different roles, people are being treated differently. And we can see that, again, because we've also got a page on the table. Pages usually signal to children, or younger energies, immature energies. They don't have to be actual little kids. They could be actual adults, but they carry the energy and the behaviors of a child at this time. So we might have kids or an older person sort of behaving like a kid, where they're not responsible for much because they're children, or they're irresponsible adults, right? And therefore they're kind of just running amok in this tight physical space, or this space where we can't really catch a break because everybody's in the house almost 24/7, yes? So everybody is playing their role, or, you know, existing within their rank, you know? And that's, I don't know, this is just like such an interesting collection of energies, because nobody's actually happy. I have to say that. Nobody's happy. As individuals in outside situations, in different circumstances, perhaps this is a happier situation. But because it's been so contained and isolated, it has now become a powder keg, is what this feels like. And I feel, unfortunately, the King of Wands is actually the one who's in, I shouldn't say unfortunately, let me take that back. Despite appearances, the King of Wands is in control. Let's say it that way. Because I feel a lot of burden falls to the shoulder of someone else or a collection of people. The Ten of Wands could be more than one person, right? But the King of Wands is kind of, in a way, calling the shots, or at least getting away with something. Or they're not as, could be that they're just not as stressed as everybody else, or they're handling it differently. They're alleviating their stress in a different way. Or they kind of, dare I say, quote unquote, command that everybody chill out. Because I feel that this King of Wands is somebody who doesn't like to be disturbed. And because that's their personality type, and I've known people like this, I might be like this myself, where if something disturbs me, I'm just like, no, I'm not going to be disturbed like this. You're stressed, you deal with it. It's like, okay, it's like that. If you want to be, look at this. Again, I'm just going to use this as an example. I'm not saying this is the exact story, but if this was the mom and dad, if this was the husband and the wife's like, honey, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. Help me, help me, help me. And he's like, that's a personal problem, baby. You could be like me. You could be like the King of Wands, make this little funky contraption and turn all those mops and brooms and all that crap into one little doohickey, and everything would be fine. Like, there's possibly a disconnect between two or more people in a space, in a house. In some of your cases, maybe this is work, just to be fair. But there's a disconnect between folks where someone doesn't understand why other people are so upset. Why are you not handling this better? Why are you not coping? Why are you not able to do what I'm doing, which is sit down and relax? And she's kind of like, what the fuck? If I sat down and relaxed, who would handle dinner? Who would fold the clothes? Who would wash the clothes? Who would wash the kids? Who would bathe these fucking kids? Are you going to do it? No? Then, and he's like, he's already checked out. Because she's nagging, she's whining, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm using very traditional, stereotypical gender roles and all that shit. Do not assign it to male and female if it's not like that. That could have been a woman who's just like, I don't know what the fucking problem is. And that could have been a man who's like, but the babies, the children, the clothes, the food. It doesn't matter. Okay? So, but I feel that this King of Wands is kind of in their own bubble within a bubble. Does that make sense? They're in a bubble within their own bubble. Everybody's panicking. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's uncomfortable here. The kids are, writing on the wall and like, doing all crazy, little hellion things. No offense to children or people who have children or whatever, but I know they can be rambunctious. And if the kids are rambunctious, another person in the house is stressed out and overworked. This person is just like, la la la, things are not that bad. It's okay. And that's possibly a coping mechanism, possibly just how they're made, their personality type. I'm not sure. But this is a little bit of a mess because I think it's really circumstantial. This feels super circumstantial. If it wasn't for 2020, if it wasn't for how things were going in the middle of this pandemic, this probably wouldn't be going on. But here's what I'll say real quickly. I'm like, well, it's kind of like, it's sort of like this is now noticeable, and that is kind of possibly freaking someone out with the Ten of Wands. They feel overburdened, overworked. They don't know what to do. They're at the end of their rope. Someone else is ignoring it or saying, oh, it's not that big a deal. And the kids or someone else who's not as responsible or not as grown up in the situation is kind of just like left up to their own devices, or they're indulging in, mischievous behaviors, right? That was happening before 2020. That was happening before coronavirus was ever a thought, ever acknowledged, ever discovered and studied, okay? This was true before 2020. And I chuckled to myself because I was just reading an article that basically said 2020 has really put a lot of relationships, friendships, and the like to the test. And this is shocking to people. And I chuckled because I knew that was happening before. Listen, I'm not a psychic. I don't think I'm a psychic. I do have premonitions though. And I got to tell you, I'll be honest with you, Libra. And I've told this to my friends in private and stuff like that. I knew, not that the pandemic was coming, but I knew that 2020 was going to be a year of make or break. And that's also based on basic numerology. 2020 is a year of 4. That's about foundations. And what do you do with foundations? You either make them or you break them. So that's what's going on here. This situation in your life, Libra, or whoever is in this story, it's a make or break. Okay? And that's up to the individuals involved, whether it's going to be made or it's going to be broken. Okay? So let's get some further information here for Libra regarding this situation. What is the additional information regarding this situation for Libra? Whoa. Wheel of Fortune. What was I just saying? It was already going to happen. This is just, 2020 is just a vessel for a lot of things that are going on in everybody's lives. 6 of Pentacles, yes. Which I hate. I hate that card. It's so gross looking. And the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Okay. So, this is happening. Whether or not it's being acknowledged is another story. Wheel of Fortune. It's happening. Secondary major for Sagittarius. Could be dealing with a Sagittarius. You don't have to be. 6 of Pentacles. If I could pick it up. Hate this card. It looks so gross. What's in that bowl? It's nasty. And the Ace of Swords in reverse. All right. So this is happening, whether anyone wants to acknowledge it or not. Kind of the theme of 2020, if you think about it, in many ways. This is happening whether you believe it or not. This is happening whether you acknowledge it or not. This is happening whether you care to engage in any type of discourse about it or not. It is totally true. It's a part of reality. And if you or someone else, I'm not saying you, Libra, I'm saying a general you. If you or anybody else wants to deny that, that's your business. But it doesn't stop it from being true, Someone could really sit here and say the sky is purple, but it ain't. You can believe it in your heart of hearts. That sky is purple. It's a lovely shade of purple. It's beautiful. Some might even call it a violet. Baby, that's blue. Nah, it's purple. Okay. And that's the end of it. Because the more objective truth, the more, I don't want to say common, but it's so undeniable what this is. But there is a chance that someone is choosing to deny it. This Ace of Swords is really getting me in a point of denial. And I don't think that works for, well, maybe. We'll see. But I feel definitely possibly, oh God. I do feel that possibly this Ace of Swords in reverse might align heavily to the people or person who's sitting in the Ten of Wands energy, that place of burden. So again, going back to this idea of somebody in the household is sitting back, legs up on the ottoman, chilling out, and somebody is like on their hands and knees in the bathroom scrubbing the grout. There's this dynamic between people or overseeing the situation that is basically saying, well, that's the way it is. Or the truth of the matter is, if I didn't do it, nobody would do it. That might be true, but that might be all. Oh, listen, I don't know what's going on here, Libra. I don't know the details of your life. I don't know where you fit in here. But it feels like somebody might feel my lot in life is to be burdened. My role here in this house, my role in this family is to be the breadwinner or is to be the caretaker. And I'm supposed to be the one who does all this all the time. And that is, I don't want to say it's not true, but I think it is a very limited self-view or limited self-talk with this Ace of Swords being in reverse. Not to get into politics or anything, but you can be more than what you think you are. I don't care who you are, what your gender is, how old you are, anything like that. You don't have to be limited to a particular role, but I feel someone is possibly convinced of that. Or, again, it's sort of coming to the surface, it's being highlighted because of 2020. Perhaps over the course of previous years or in different circumstances, it was more subconscious or it kind of wasn't a big deal. But now that many of us have been living day in, day out with the same people, running the same routines, we are noticing, oh, I'm the one who always loads the dishwasher and unloads it. She never does it. He never does it. I'm the one who's always cleaning the bathtub. I'm the one who's always, going out and taking the trash. What? It's always me? Huh. And that is possibly going unspoken and just accepted because, again, I feel someone here is just like, and that sometimes happens with the Ten of Wands. It's a willful burden. We willfully carry the wands and struggle to maintain control of them. And even though it's difficult, we're going to, do it and do it till it's done. Do it till it's done. Because they're like right there. They're circling me right here. Okay. Do it till it's done. All right. In some of your cases, Wheel of Fortune, divine timing is a part of this story for some of you Libras or someone in this story. It might not be, I don't know where you are. Libra, you could be any of these characters. You could be someone not living in this house, but this is your neighbor's experience or something like that. But yeah, do it till it's done. For some, oh, she's holding up a 3. She's holding up 3 on her fingers. So for some of you, 3 weeks, 3 months, maybe there's like 3 people in the house, 3 children in the house, something about 3 because of her fingers there, and you got 3 chips floating beside her. So I don't know, maybe something about 3 is important to you. The 3rd of the month may be important to you. I'm not sure. Anyway, until it's done. 10 of Wands, the 10s in tarot equal culmination points, they equal endings, or they equal sort of the transitionary period between the end of something and the beginning of something else, because the 10 immediately drops back down in tarot to the ace, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, ace 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it goes like that in cycles until we're done here, right? That's basically our lives, all human life is just a cycle, okay? And being that it's a cycle, somebody here might be coming to the end of their rope. I may have said that earlier. Like they're finding themselves constantly flustered, constantly exhausted without help from anybody else who they live with or work with or they're close to, right? Nobody else is helping me here. And I don't necessarily want to say that and cause more of a kerfuffle. That's possible with the Ace of Swords being in the reverse. However, it is still going to lead to some type of revelation, some type of resolution, thank you, with the Ace of, not the Ace, with the Wheel of Fortune there. And so I feel like maybe the 3 is like third strike. Like maybe now somebody's putting their foot down. It's possible. Yeah, I just feel like this, I want to keep calling this the Ace of Fortune, which is so strange. But the Wheel of Fortune, I don't know. It feels like something is wrapped up. One door closes and another door opens. One door closes, a window opens, whatever that phrase is, whatever the cliche is there. And that's what this feels like. And possibly that might be a rude awakening to other people in this energy, in this storyline, okay? And at the center, or possibly what has been ignored, thank you, very interesting, ignored, is the 6 of Pentacles factor. The factor of fairness, the factor of reciprocity, the factor of, what is the most amicable way to go about something? What is the fairest way to go about something? The most balanced way to go about something? Yeah. In terms of Pentacles, I did say that before, and it's only one card of Pentacles, but for some of you, a lot of this could be surrounding money or resources. And again, I don't know your circumstances. I'm not blaming anybody. It's not about blame, but in some cases, it could be one person in the household, one of the people with an income, maybe they lost their job several weeks or months ago, And in that time, it's put a lot of the financial burden on one person, and that is a strain on them. And there needs to be some type of change. There needs to be some type of closing out of what we were doing before and opening up to a new way of doing things so that we can restore balance, so that we can focus on on the practical ways in which you and I, or she and him and whoever else, can put in equally to this pot, equally to the household funds. You get what I mean? Now, I usually talk about the artwork of this card in this deck because, number one, I hate it. It's kind of gross to me. But also, I just think it's interesting because what also I'm noticing here is there's this emphasis, like I was just mentioning, on reciprocity and equality or fairness, but that bowl of treats looks like a trick to me because, I mean, you might be one of those people who love candy corn. I think it's a sin against humanity. I don't understand it. It's gross. It's grotesque. And when you're trick-or-treating, like, who really wants, like, a cookie? Like a random cookie from somebody in the neighborhood. So if we're presuming that this is like a trick-or-treat scenario, most kids don't want candy corn, and most kids don't want little baked treats. They want like a fucking Snickers bar, or they want, Sour Patch Kids, or whatever the hell they want. They don't want this crap. So there's this sense of that going on here. I don't want this crap. I don't want this imbalance. I don't want this to not be equal amongst the people who have responsibility in this situation. And we can go back to what I said in the beginning. If this is a mom and a dad, a husband and a wife, two equal people, it doesn't even have to be that. Two freaking roommates, it doesn't matter. And one person is sitting on their ass and the other person is busting their ass, that's not fair. And nobody wants that. What is the advice here for Libra? What is the advice for Libra in this situation, please, going forward? What is the advice for Libra? I'll mention that in a second. Okay. And it's right beneath me. I will be right back. All right, Libra, I apologize about that. The thing I wanted to mention to you, and it's come up in like one or two other readings, and I didn't notice it until now, or rather it wasn't like a part of the message. These cards are slanted on the table. I'm sitting, right here, directly in front of the table, so there's no reason for me to slant these cards, but I have. And so that usually indicates that something is crooked, something is bent, something is wonky in whatever situation we're talking about, okay? So that's just a visual confirmation of why this reading has come out for you. Now, what fell to the floor as your advice is the Eight of Wands, and it's in reverse, so that's interesting. No, okay. I was like, I don't usually like the Eight of Wands in reverse because the meaning for this is miscommunication. The traditional meaning is miscommunication, bad exchange of information, possibly no communication, or very sharp barbery, like purposely hurtful communication, if not miscommunication or no communication. It's like, well, I'm going to say what I want to say and I'm not going to hold back. Okay. I think in those traditional interpretations of this card, I don't know. I mean, it's different for all of you. Some of you need to take the advice of not saying anything because that might make the situation worse. I don't know the details. I don't know why that would be, but there's something that rings true for a few of you. If you say something or if someone says something to you, it would just make the situation worse. So just go ahead and avoid that. Or for some of you, it's saying stop doing that. Stop, sweeping things under the rug and acting like nothing is a problem, and actually do the opposite and turn this card in its upright position and say something. Now, the other part that I'm going to interpret here is the illustration. Here's the woman, or a woman, I should say, but here's a female person, oh my God, here's a female, riding on a mop, riding her broomstick, and really getting, like, going along with the program, yeah? Again, traditional, like, old school, like, early 20th century, middle America, and this is our house, what do you call it? Housemaker. This is our homemaker, Betty. Betty, what have you done today? Well, I made a cake. It's like that adherence to traditionally, female or feminine gender roles and all that shit, right? And the advice, because again, this came in the reverse, is to stop doing that. So if we are, and listen, I'm not here to challenge you politically. I'm not here to challenge your morals, but there is this sense of somebody possibly back here with the Ten of Wands, putting burden on their shoulders, or allowing other people to put burden on their shoulders based on roles, whether they be gender based, whether they be based on age, whether they be based on, experience or something like that. There's this presumption that because you are blank, you must do blank. Because you are a man, you must do this. Because you are a woman, you must do this. Because you are a child, you must do this. Or an adult, there's something about that. And that might need to be challenged with this Eight of Wands coming in reversed. So if we're going off of the artwork here, if it's a woman and she's in the kitchen and she's baking the cookies and scrubbing the toilet and doing the diapers, it's kind of like you got to go in there and be like, look, husband, or look, other woman, or look, whoever is cohabiting this house. I'm doing all this. Here's what you can do to help everything along. But that's not my role. That's not my job. Fuck you mean? What you mean? In this modern 21st century, what do you mean? You can't change these diapers because you're a man? Bullshit. You better change those fucking diapers. Listen, I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to stop because I'm showing my cards. It's not my story, but I just don't understand that way of living. And it was like that when I grew up, and I really don't like it. But whatever. You get what I mean. So there is a possibility that certain things based on expectation and roles and how we perform for other people needs to be, if not turned on its head, at least rewritten or at least discussed. Why are we doing it this way? Someone tell me why. Something like that, okay? Libra, that is your reading for mid-December. If you liked it, there is a like button down below. Hit that for me. Feel free to leave a comment down below if this reading resonated with you. I love to read your comments. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, friends, please consider subscribing. Doing any all of that stuff helps support me as a reader here on YouTube, helps the channel circulate around for other people to find me and possibly, become subscribers. So that would be much appreciated. And so Libra, I will be back soon to do your January readings. If you want to get at me for a personal before then, you can find me or you can find out how to do that in the description box below, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.